We're here on the farm of Richard and Norick Gilfoyle, just on the outskirts of Kilkenny. It's the 6th of April and breeding with these cows is going to start in just under 3 weeks. But preparation for breeding has started with the cow over the last number of weeks. So in a short 14-week period, we ask the cows to do an awful lot. We expect them to give us a live, healthy calf. We ask them to double their dry matter intake and reach peak milk yield, and at the same time we want them to cleanse their uterus, start cycling and then go back in calf. A really important factor to help the cow go back in calf is going to be dry matter intake and ultimately energy intake. And we're lucky here in Ireland and with the climate that we have that we can grow plenty of this high energy, high protein, lush grass. Now, while the priority is to get as much of this grass into the diet as we can, it's also important to remember the limitations and challenges that it poses while trying to get these ladies here back in calf. First of these challenges is dry matter intake. So as I've said, dry matter intake and ultimately energy is going to play a huge factor in getting these cows back in calf. So a cow producing 27 litres of milk is going to need about 18 kilos dry matter intake. On an indoor diet, this would be about 50 kilos of fresh weight, but on an outdoor diet of just grass, this could be anything from 80 to 105 or 110 kilos of fresh weight, which is a big ask for any cow, especially a cow that's only calved maybe 3 to 4 weeks and her dry matter intake is on an upward curve. So it's important just to be mindful of that. The other issue is where growth rates aren't at where we'd like them to be, and we have to restrict the amount of grass we're giving the cows. We just need to be aware of what her requirements are and what we're giving her and how we breach the gap. The second challenge we face with grass is the fact that grass supplies far more protein than the cow requires. Spring grass in particular is very high in non-protein nitrogen, and this non-protein nitrogen will end up as blood urea nitrogen and milk urea nitrogen, and this urea creates an inhospitable environment for successful embryo development. The third challenge we face then with grass is we know grass is very low in trace minerals, copper, zinc, selenium, iodine, cobalt, and it's also low in magnesium. All of these are important for the cow for successful reproduction. So bearing these challenges in mind, the old saying is true, what you don't measure you can't manage. And it's important for us to know exactly what the cow takes in order to make the correct decision around supplementation. We have here today our mobile NIR4 device, which we use to analyse wet forages such as grass silage, maize silage, whole crop. And we use the analysis of this to help us make our decision and recommend the right product to our customers based on his or her particular situation. Okay, so we just analysed a sample of grass here that the cows are going to come into this evening after milking, and it's reading about 22% dry matter and about 21% protein. So the cows will need to eat roughly 82 kilos fresh weight to meet their requirements for 27 litres of this grass, so it's a big enough ask. I also did a sample earlier of second rotation grass that the cows will probably go into next week, and it's about 19% dry matter and again around 21% protein, so just a bit of a drop off in dry matter, which you'd often see. Okay, so another useful tool that we use with our customers out on farm is our milk aid reports. This tool tracks milk production and milk constituents week by week, month by month and year by year, so we can help the customer make informed decisions that's going to improve his production and the performance of his herd. Another useful source of information that we use with our customers is the text message you get from your milk processor of the milk results. For example, a milk urea reading in excess of 35 on a consistent basis would indicate excess protein and lack of energy in the diet, and it's something that would want to be addressed or could have an impact on fertility. Another figure to look at is your protein percentage. Again, milk protein is directly linked to the energy in the diet, so a low protein will suggest you need to do something about your energy. The butterfat figure is directly related to fibre intake. A consistently low butterfat figure would suggest that cows need a bit more structural fibre in their diet. A useful thing to do would be to work out your butterfat to protein ratio. A ratio of 1.2 to 1 on a consistent basis would indicate that your cows are lacking digestible fibre and may well be suffering from subacute ruminal acidosis or ZARA, and this would want to be addressed. If the butterfat to protein ratio is consistently over 1.4, This would suggest that your cows are lacking in energy and that they're breaking down their own body fat reserve to use as energy in a condition known as ketosis, and this would want to be addressed or would have an impact on fertility. Okay, so just to recap, key factors in getting your cow back in calf. Number one, energy intake. Make sure you know what the cow's requirements are and do your best to meet those requirements. Number two, be aware of your milk urea figure, and if it's consistently over 35, that's more than likely going to have a negative impact on the cow's fertility. And number three, try and ensure your cows are getting an adequate amount of minerals and trace elements to help them go back in calf. And use all the information that your business manager has and that you have to hand to help make informed decisions. Hope you find this video was useful, and best of luck with your breeding season.